What's going on? We are live. We are live. Let's go. What's up, everybody? We are getting to. We're going to be drafting. We are going to be drafting one best ball lineup today. Best ball mania. All right. Let me go live on Instagram real quick. Let me make sure everyone knows what's up. We're gonna go ahead and what's up, everybody? What's good? Want to make sure everybody understands what's going on today. All right. Um, having trouble. Let's see. All right. Want to make sure we got some people on here before we start drafting. All right. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I mean, I'm going live on Instagram real quick just to make sure people know we're live on YouTube. And then I'm going to go ahead and start. What's up, everybody? What's up, Instagram? What's going on? We going live on YouTube. Drafting right now. What's up, Cody? What's going on, B Dog? Nappy Head? Kevin, what's good? We live on YouTube right now. We're going to be drafting best ball. So hop over on YouTube when you guys get a chance. All right, youtube.com, Upper Hand Fantasy. You'll find it. I'm live right now. And we're going to be entering $25 entry into the Best Ball Mania, trying to win that milli. Trying to win 2 milli, matter of fact. All right? Trying to win that milli. So hop on YouTube, when you can. And what's up? What's up? What's up, Kevin? What's up, Daddy D? Rails back. First rookie draft in an hour. Damn. All right. Let's get on YouTube. We got a couple people on YouTube now. You guys can obviously, watch the draft afterwards, but I think it'll be a little more fun doing it live. This is great practice, by the way, for redraft and all that, just to kind of see where our head's at. But I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen over on YouTube, and we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get right into it. All right. I'm sharing my Underdog screen on YouTube, so you can go check that out. We're gonna join Best Ball Mania 3, $10 million. $10 million in prizes. All right, $25 entry, 30 seconds per pick. So nothing too crazy. We're going to be moving. 30 seconds per pick here. So I'll see you guys over on YouTube. I'm going to end this live right now. Deathy D, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that a lot, honestly. I'm going to head over, just hop over to YouTube. All right, we getting in here right now. I just entered. All right, so I just entered the lobby. We're just waiting for people. It's all filled up. We're waiting for one person, so we in there. All right, I'll see you guys on YouTube. See ya. All right, so we in here on YouTube. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see what pick I got. So we're waiting for one more person right now. But in the meantime, we have a couple people here. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I can get to it. This best ball contest is so fun. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, it really is, AJ. It really is. And I'm gonna be doing one of these like every single week. I'm thinking every Wednesday night. As long as this best ball mania is up, as long as it's not failed, I think I'm gonna do one of these every night. And this is on top of the slow drafts that I'm doing too. We got Leo over here rooting for the Celtics over here. I feel you, man. I was living in Boston, Leo, for like for I think it was 7 to 8 years. I was there before. I was born in New York, and I moved my way over to Boston for a bit, and now I'm back in Jersey. All right, I got the third pick of the draft. Draft is starting in 47 seconds. Let's do it. All right, so I'm hoping, for me, this is easy. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be JT, it's going to be Cooper Cup or Christian McCaffrey. I'm happy with whoever falls to me, honestly. Out of those three guys are going to be my first pick, you know. And then when it comes to 4 and 5, it's probably Justin Jefferson over Derrick Henry at that point. But that's me. That's me. What's up, Pekka? What's going on? Um, Michael, you never done a draft before. Are there any key pointers? Yeah, man, and you'll see it as I go through this. I'm going to be trying to explain as much as I can um, as I'm doing this. But there is strategy. You know, you do want to grab a certain number of running backs, a certain number of wide receivers. You know, if you're trying to really take it down, right? You can have some fun. You can draft and all that. It's fun either way. But there are certain things that you could do. You know, and one of my things is taking QBs relatively late. You know, don't worry about stacking your players, meaning quarterback, wide receiver, unless it's relatively convenient and that quarterback is relatively, at a good value after you already picked their wide receiver, that sort of thing. All right. So we got JT, Christian McCaffrey going 1 and 2. All right. I would love to grab a running back here, right, early, but I'm going to go Cooper Cup here. Cooper Cup, it would either be Cooper Cup or Justin Jefferson here. And I understand going running backs first before Cooper Cup, and I probably would have done the same if I was there at 1 and 2. So I'm going Cooper Cup. Now, in terms of like wide receiver and what I want to do at wide receiver, um, yeah, exactly. So as AJ is saying, wide receiver is more valuable in best ball, different format. And for me personally, like I try to grab like 8 to 9 wide receivers, um, per draft, right? And what the reason why is because like what I like to do is I like to grab a couple studs, if I can, right? So a lot of times I find myself picking running back in the first 2 rounds. I never really ended up with the 1-3 recently. I've been closer to the turn. So I've been getting a couple running backs. Like I've been getting Najee like 7-8. You know what I mean? But what I like to do, I might want to grab like 1 or 2 wide receiver studs. Actually, no, a little bit more, like maybe 2 to 3. Somewhat studs, and then like the rest of the guys, you kind of want to shoot for ceilings and stuff. So you can kind of worry about running backs. I do like to get that premium tight end. So I would like a Mark Andrews, in the second if he's there. You know, I'm cool with that just because, or you could get those low end tight end ones, but it's like their ceilings aren't that high anyway. So I'd rather get Andrews and maybe another high ceiling tight end so that I can kind of, whoever's scoring more that week, I kind of, I can roll with their points. Um, but yeah, that's kind of how I like to do it. Michael's asking, should it be matter for players known to be injury prone? I mean, it goes for anything, Michael. Like, it goes for redraft, it goes for best ball. If Christian McCaffrey does end up getting hurt, right, at least you hopefully have some running back depth to the point where, you don't have to worry about who you're starting, right? Because remember, every single week your lineups are optimized, right? So, if one of your running backs goes off, they could potentially have a high end RB1 type of week. They're not a high end RB1, but they can have a high end RB1 type of week, a top 5 week, a top 7 week. And then you can kind of take those points, and that player will be in your starting lineup, right? And if you're wondering what the starting lineup looks like, guys, let me just grab my team here real quick. My pick is in 7 picks. Okay, cool. So you can see on this right side here, you can see that it'll show you like how many who you picked here. But basically, how the roster works is that it's 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and I think that's it. I think that's what it. I think that's what it is in this format. In regular best ball formats, I think it's like 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 flex, and 1 tight end. I think that's what it is. Let me see. It says it right here. Let's see what I forget what it was. Here we go. Oh, there was a flex. My bad. So 1 quarterback. So yeah. So it's a regular best ball format. So quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, and then you grab the rest of your bench basically. All right. So I'm 3 picks away. Let's see who's available. All right. So we got Javante, Debo Samuel, Mike Evans just picked. I'm one pick away here. DeAndre Swift still on the board. Okay. If this dude doesn't take DeAndre Swift right now, and of course he takes DeAndre Swift. Of course. Of course. All right. Who we going with here? We're going with either Alvin Kamara, Tyreek Hill, Nick Chubb, AJ Brown, Aaron Jones, Saquon. Listen, I'm gonna get my running back who's gonna catch a bunch of balls this year. I'm not so into Tyreek Hill right now, you know, and I'm not saying that just because of the video that we saw this morning. Okay, I'm not saying it because of that. I promise. I'm not saying it because Tyreek Hill had to stop and field the punt from Tua. All right, and that's not what I'm saying here. But I think at this point, we're at a point where I really want to get that solid running back, and I do want to grab another running back if I can at 3-3. All right, because the wide receivers here, it's looking okay. I like AJ Brown. Obviously, ton of upside. Tyreek Hill, solid. But I do want to grab that second running back here, and then kind of and then focus on wide receivers after that. Because once you get past these couple guys, Aaron Jones, Saquon, James Conner, you're not really looking at a bunch of backs who's going to catch a ton of passes. Like David Montgomery's going to be involved in the pass game, but look at these guys, right? They're not going to be involved in the pass game a ton, right? So I kind of Travis Etienne maybe, right? But he's a little bit later and good value, to be honest with you. But yeah, let's see his comments real quick. Leo's asking, how many leagues are you usually in? I'm in too many, way too many. I'm trying to cut it down. I did cut it down last year, but then I got invited to like 14 more this year, so I'm already in too many. You have certain apps you recommend for a group of friends? Yeah, I mean, Underdog. Underdog is good. I'll get to that in a second. So I am on the clock. We got Aaron Jones, Saquon, James Conner. Listen, in best ball, this is not dynasty. This is best ball for this year. I'm all about James Conner. I know Saquon, he would be amazing to grab right now, and I'm going to be reaching a little bit here, and I get it, but I'm going Saquon Barkley. All right. Now, if you look at my team, I'm sorry, I'm going James Conner. Now, you might be wondering, like, dude, like, why didn't you just take Aaron Jones there? Why didn't you take Saquon Barkley there? And I do like those guys. I do. All right. I just think that the Arizona offense and James Conner's role last year when Chase Edmonds got hurt, the dude was like a top 5, top 6 running back in that role. So I think his ceiling on a per game basis is high enough to the point where in best ball, that's kind of what I'm shooting for. All right. So I think I got my 2 workhorse running backs. And I know James Conner, if you're looking at Saquon and you're thinking that he's injury prone, listen, like you can't not say that for James Conner too, right? Like last year was the first year that he was able to stay healthy, for a majority of the year. But when he was on the field, he was doing his thing and he was killing it in that offense. Now, and I think Pekka, Pekka, you're right, man. Draft Aaron Jones. And I think Aaron Jones is going to be involved a ton in the pass game, like a ridiculous amount. Like, no Devontae Adams. And I think so if I remember this correctly, without Devontae Adams over the past few years, and I know AJ Dillon's there, but over the past few years, without Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones has been averaging about 25 PPR fantasy points a game. I mean, that's bananas, right? He's going to get targeted. I can see Aaron Jones catching like 6, 7, 8 balls a game. That's real, and that upside is huge. And I think that he's going to end up being the guy that Aaron Rodgers ends up depending on. We don't know how Christian Watson is going to develop. He doesn't really have like a bona fide wide receiver 1 to start the season, unless Christian Watson, develops a lot faster than a lot of us think that he can. But yeah, Pekka, you're absolutely right. I don't think you could have gone wrong with Aaron Jones there. I don't even think you could have gone wrong with Saquon Barkley there. I'm willing to draft Saquon Barkley at the right price, especially in redraft leagues. But let's look at my team real quick. So we got Alvin Kamara, James Conner, and Cooper Kupp. Guys, like, what do you think? That's some upside right there, right? You want to like lean on the side of upside just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Guys, in the comments, I want to know, do you guys think that I should wait on quarterback and potentially scoop up Matthew Stafford? You think I should go for the Stafford Cup stack? Stafford got Allen Robinson too, right? I'm not going to grab Allen Robinson, but he is a good value, by the way. Allen Robinson is a good value, redraft, best ball, but I already got Cup, so I might avoid that. But listen, if I get Stafford at a good value, I think he might be a solid quarterback to go for if I want to get the stack, right? Um, Michael just followed me this morning. That's amazing, dude. Like I'm glad I've been talking to you this whole time. That's what's up. That's what's up. I appreciate that, man. Thoughts on Brees Hall, man. I got a lot of thoughts on Brees Hall, man. If you know me, like I've been digging this rookie concept for a minute now. Yeah, I think the landing spot is solid. Outside zone scheme, that's what you're looking for. Michael Carter's still there, so some of that passing work could be taken away. I don't think Brees Hall is this amazing pass catcher. He's very solid in the passing game, but he's not like a J.D. McKissick, Michael Carter, these type of guys who can be very, very good in the pass game. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, he racked the volume and he can catch, but he might not be as efficient after the catch. That's the only thing. All right, I'm on the clock, guys. David Montgomery on the board. I like him at his value at RB17, but I think I might want to go wide receiver here. Oh man, I think I'm going to have to go running back here, and I think I might be able to grab Courtland Sutton on the way back. And I know. See, the thing is, for me, like David Montgomery is going to be catching passes. See, this is what I end up doing every single time I do these best balls. I take way too many running backs, okay? But listen, if James Conner gets hurt, whatever the case may be, I need a running back who's going to be able to catch passes. The offense isn't looking amazing. The Bears, they really didn't help. They really didn't help, Justin Fields at all. Okay. Guys, by the way, I know Justin Herbert's on the board. I don't want to pick a quarterback early. I can get quarterbacks later. We're going to wait on quarterback. Might be able to take Matthew Stafford later on. Not set on Stafford, but he's somebody that I could go for here. Zeke, not really interested. Okay. J.K. Dobbins, not he's coming off the injury. A little bit of a crowded backfield. I'm gonna chill with that. McLaurin, I'm gonna chill. Courtland Sutton is where the upside is to me this year. I'm big on Courtland Sutton. I think Courtland Sutton is that dude in terms of who is going to be the alpha on this offense in 2022. I think it's going to be Courtland Sutton. Sutton is going to be 1 year removed, 1 season removed from that ACL surgery, ACL injury. So, I'm pumped about him this year. Honestly, I think he's going to have the most rapport with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has played, with that guy who can stretch the field. Russell Wilson doesn't need to, have a guy separate in order to target him. So I'm all about Courtland Sutton this year. I think he could potentially be a top 12 wide receiver. He has that potential in him, and he's been a dynasty buy for me as well. I just think that people are sleeping on him a little bit, and I think Russell Wilson going there, he's going to put up big numbers. I really do. All right, so yeah, Stafford Cup stack. Yep. What is your favorite NFL team, Michael? Me and you, bro. It's me and you, man. That's it. Nobody else see it. No, I'm kidding. I'm a Jets fan. Unfortunately. Lot of sad Sundays. Glad I focus on fantasy now, to be honest with you, because I have my own team to worry about. You know what I mean? Pekka wanted me to take Judy. I get it, man. But I was a little. You could see, right? I was aiming for something there, right? So that's why I didn't want to do it. So Mitch is asking, "What's up, Mitch? Mixon to get Mixon for ETN in the 2023 second." I'm okay with that. Like if you're in a win now situation and you want to get Mixon, to get that like low end RB1, because that's what I think Mixon is, even though he finished, super high last year. Like I'm not, I don't think his role is one of a high end RB1. His role is a low end RB1 because he comes off the field on passing down. So by definition, those touchdowns really like propelled him to where he was at last year. And I think that could definitely happen again. But in order for me to project, I think Mixon will be a low end RB1. But still, if you need that RB1, that surefire RB1 for next season, yeah, I can get behind this. Now, if you don't really have a win now team, and if you're playing a PPR league, I honestly prefer to keep ETN in that 2023 second. I think ETN is somebody who can be on the rise in PPR leagues if you're playing for the future. If you're not, I think Mixon's the move. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about right here. I got Sutton for 2.8 and a 2023 third. Are you kidding me? That's what I'm talking about. That's why Courtland Sutton is a huge buy right now. If anyone has wide receiver one potential, like come on. All right, I'm 2 picks away here. Team is looking solid, honestly. I like Mooney, I like London. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think the safest pick here is Darnell Mooney. He has a relatively decent upside here. I like London, but to be honest with you, um, I think I'm gonna go Mooney here because I think Mooney he has upside. He has that. I like Hopkins obviously, but he's going to be suspended for 6 games, so I'm not really like going crazy over him right now. But I think Mooney's the pick here. He's relatively safe. He has a little bit of upside. I think that's the move. What do you guys think? Especially with Drake London off. Oh, I got a pick. Hurry. All right, there we go. All right, I guess I would have picked him anyway. All right, what do you guys think about the Mooney pick? Let me know. Cup, Sutton, Mooney. Oh, shit. I got 2 Bears. I got Montgomery and Mooney. Ugh. Gross. Yeah, Pekka. I think, see, if London was on the board, I knew that he was going to pick London. I knew that was going to happen. So he picked London right before me. The thing with London is like, that upside is real. He has like that ability to potentially, get that like 2 touchdown, 75-yard game. You know what I mean? So that upside is definitely there. So I would have went there. But honestly, I like Burks. He has some potential too. So I think I might go either Burks here or Adam Thielen. Obviously Adam Thielen has those boom weeks. So he's somebody that I'm looking at right now. I also have to consider tight end at some point, So if I'm looking at tight end here, there's not too many guys like I would be super happy with. I might have to go ahead and just, bite the bullet, and go with guys like a couple low end guys at this point. I might have to go like, Ertz and Gronk or Ertz and Albert. Oh, we don't even know if Gronk is playing. So I think what I'm going to do is I don't want to go Elijah Mitchell here. I think Thielen is the move at this point. I like Sky more, but I don't want to take him over Thielen. So I'm going to go Thielen. He's an old wide receiver, but like, listen, the dude is a touchdown magnet. He's a guy who is like 33 years old at this point, 32 years old, whatever he is. But listen, that regression, that negative regression has been waiting to catch up with him, but it's not going to happen. He breaks the rules. So I think so AJ's saying that he likes Ertz and Gesicki for tight end. Okay, I feel that. Ertz, Albert, and Joku. Yep, yes, that's kind of what I'm feeling too, man. That's kind of what I'm feeling. I'm thinking that I maybe with a couple picks down there, I go with Ertz if he even like lasts. I think I'll be all right because his ADP is 114. So I think I might be all right. So maybe I'll go Ertz and Albert O. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But then I'm picking too many players in the same team. I already have Sutton. That's okay. That's really it. Like I cannot go further than that, right? Noah Fant, maybe. Right? Logan Thomas, maybe. Man, Gerald Everett, maybe. But now we're getting into the weeds. I gotta pick a tight end in my next pick. I pretty much have to at this point. What would be a nice pick here, right? Cordell Patterson. What a value. What a value right there. RB26. He really shouldn't be taking that at that. He should be taking like an RB like 15, 16. He's gonna have the same role as he did last year. Yeah, I mean Everett is nice late, but he's still a little bit of a crapshoot. You know, that's the only thing. I know he's on the Chargers and all that, but he's still a little bit of a crapshoot. But I agree. Like if you're going to take late shots, I think that's a good late shot to take. So if I end up like messing these tight ends up, if I end up messing these tight ends up, he's going to be somebody that I end up grabbing late. Um, Leo's asking, so how do I think the Niners run game will pan out? I think Elijah Mitchell is going to be the 1A there, but I can totally see a situation. Like, listen, they spent third round draft capital on Tyrion Davis Price, right? So, like, the fact that they did that, tells me, listen, I know that they drafted one last year too. It just didn't work out for them that first year. It's not like oh, like great, like that didn't work out, so let's do it again. And we don't want that one to work out either. Like, no, it's going to work out, or they're trying to get it to work out. So I think that day two draft capital, if I had Elijah Mitchell, that would scare me, right? So I think that it could be a situation where and he's a big dude. He can easily come in for goal line situations over Elijah Mitchell, very possible. So Elijah Mitchell, 6th-round pick, they have zero draft capital invested in him. So I wouldn't be, I wouldn't really I wouldn't trust Elijah Mitchell, to be honest. We've seen them run 3-man committees before. Last year Elijah Mitchell happened to be the cheapest 49er running back to draft. He was going undrafted too in redraft. So yeah, he was a good pick. It was a great waiver wire pickup. All right, I'm on the clock, guys. What do we think about the Russ? What do we think about the Russ, Courtland Sutton? The Russ, Courtland Sutton, Albert O stack right now. What do we think? I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Listen, I know we wanted to go Matthew Stafford. I know we wanted to go Matthew Stafford, but listen, I'm going. I went Russ. I think Russ has a lot of upside, man, in that offense. So I know Stafford was going to be our pick, but I kind of like the fact that I can go Sutton, and then I could potentially get Albert O a little bit later. I'm not going to go for him now because he's at 136, but I'm going to hopefully have Zach Ertz come to me at. The thing is, I'll be reaching on Zach Ertz, man. I'll be reaching on Zach Ertz if I take him now. So I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to do that. Let's see. I got 4 wide receivers ready. I'm on the clock already. Okay, here we go. Damian Harris, Kenneth Walker. Don't want either. Well, you know what? Damian Harris be having those big weeks. He has those big weeks with those touchdowns. So he might be my guy here. I don't like any of these wide receivers on the board right now. So I'm going Damian Harris. He has those weeks sometimes where he's getting a few touchdowns, right? So that upside is a little bit hard to pass up at this pick. Also, the wide receivers around here weren't that great. And to be honest with you, now I have a good stable of wide receivers. Now I just kind of have to shoot for a little bit of upside, right? And that's what I'm going to do. I know I don't have a tight end yet, but I can't reach. I think one of the staples for this format is not to reach, right? And just kind of, because what ends up happening is if you end up reaching on some guys, you're going to end up at the bottom of your draft picking random players, and you're going to hate your last 2 to 3 picks. And what I'd rather do is I'd rather not reach and then potentially get a couple of those guys towards the end that could actually contribute, to potentially being in my lineup, any given week, right? So I kind of punted tight end here, which sucks, but it is what it is. Hopefully with my next pick, 12 picks away, I'll be able to get the guys that I want. Zach Ertz still on the board. Albert O still on the board, Gesicki still on the board, Gronk still on the board. And at this point, since I punted tight end, listen, I think going Gronk isn't a terrible idea here. Maybe not here, but later on, right? If I can get Ertz, I'm going to get Ertz. All right. Um, but getting Gronk might not be a bad idea. If he signs with the Bucks, we Gucci, right? That's probably what's going to happen. Like, is Gronk really going to retire? Brady came back, you know. He's getting the bag from Fox, but he's not going to play. He's not going to. He's still playing, so you got to make it worth it. He's going to make Gronk come back, right? Gronk just doesn't want to go to training camp and shit, right? He's just going to want. He wants to like just play. So I think that's what he's going to end up doing. No Chris Godwin, right? Potentially for the beginning of the year. Might be banged up all year. See how I'm talking myself into Gronk right now? Yeah, gotta go Ertz. It's so funny. As I'm talking about Gronk, these are the comments. SJ, thank you. Gotta go Ertz. It's true. Pekka's like, dude, don't do it. Gronk carries too much risk. He may retire. Eric's like, Ertz. It's true. It's true. Let's see. Hopefully no one chooses Ertz. Actually, someone already chose Ertz. Never mind. Thanks a lot. This dude. Oh, he has a nice team here. See, this is how you should be playing. Well, running backs kind of suck, but there is some sort of upside there. Kind of how you want to play it, right? All right. So where are we at? Six picks away. We got Russell Wilson, Alvin Kamara, James Conner, David Montgomery, Damian Harris, Cooper Kupp, Colton Sutton, Darnell Mooney. I'm happy with this team so far. I'm perfectly happy with this team. Probably want to focus on wide receiver and tight end at this point. Pat Freiermuth is going a little bit later. I don't want him. Mike Gesicki, I'm thinking about it. Albert O, I'm thinking about it. In terms of wide receiver here, I think I'm going to go wide receiver here. It's probably going to be Allen Lazard. This is a half PPR format, so I'm not overly into Rondale Moore, but he just got taken anyway. Rachaad White just got taken. That was a little bit of a reach. Kenny Golladay definitely has some upside. He's somebody that I'll be thinking about here. But I do think Allen Lazard is the guy that I'm going to go with here. Michael Gallup just got taken, so that was an easy decision for me. So I'm going to go Allen Lazard. I want to get these wide receivers up. Aaron Rodgers doesn't really, listen, they drafted Christian Watson. He could walk in to be their wide receiver one, but there's a chance that he doesn't in year one, right? In which case, there's going to be, targets to go around, and Allen Lazard, is the next man up. He could be the wide receiver one for Aaron Rodgers this year. I'm not super into Lazard, but I think that he could have his games. So I think this is a solid pick here. And like I said, and originally, remember, I didn't want to reach on tight end here, right? I'm on the clock now. So I don't have a second quarterback, but I could potentially wait. I don't want to wait. I think I need a second quarterback here. I could go Deshaun. I know everyone wants me to take a tight end. I don't want to right now. I'm sorry. So I'm going Deshaun here. I think this is a solid pick. I pick 105. I got him at a value. His ADP is 105. I got him at 123. I think that's solid. Listen, I know I don't have a tight end. I know. But I'm going to pick a couple tight ends late. Hopefully that, I'm shooting for the best score. Yeah, I mean, listen, yeah, I guess, Rodgers and Lazard does have some chemistry. End of last year, Lazard had some good games, so it's possible. Rondale, wasn't available to me. This is a half PPR format, so I'm not like overly into Rondale in redraft. In best ball, but in full PPR formats, I'm definitely more into him. The fact that they got Hollywood kind of messes things up for Rondale a little bit. Less targets available potentially. Obviously, Hopkins going to be out for 6 games, but he's going to come back, right? And it's going to be Hop number 1. It's going to be Hollywood number 2 most likely, and number 3, will probably be split up between like Rondale and Ertz. Initially, I was cool with Rondale. I was actually excited about Rondale's year because it was going to be Hopkins, no Christian Kirk, AJ Green's a dinosaur, and then Rondell Moore in the slot. With Ertz there, that's fine. I'll take that all day because Rondell Moore would be on the field on every single play, right? And I feel like he would be targeted. He was targeted at a high rate per route run last year. He was, solid fantasy points, per what is it, per route run, per snap, whatever it was. I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I know. Keep in mind Arizona lost Kirk. I know, but they added Hollywood, and if you tell me like who deserves more targets, who's going to get a higher target share, like who deserves a closer target share to DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk or Hollywood? And I think my answer is Hollywood. Hollywood, was a guy who's getting 26% target share each of the last 2 years as the number one, right? So when he comes to Arizona, he's gonna demand more target share than Christian Kirk was, and I think that's going to be closer to Hopkins than we think, because Hopkins was only averaging, I think it was 21% target share last year, which isn't that high for who we think is an alpha wide receiver in DeAndre Hopkins, right? Okay. I do like. Okay, I'm gonna listen. If Albert O comes to me here, I'm gonna take Albert O. Okay, I want to take Jacoby Myers here. Okay, I do. Are we taking Tim Patrick? I'm just gonna take all Broncos. This is like my full Broncos stack. I'm just gonna take Albert O. I'm gonna take Tim Patrick. I gotta grab Will Fuller, because Will Fuller is that potential stack with Deshaun Watson. I know it's a potential. It might not happen, but I'm going to do it because it's fun. I'm taking Albert O here. And it makes me feel better because Jacoby Myers was taking a pick right before me, right? So I'm happy with taking Albert O. Albert O is not a slam dunk by any means, right? But, I got to make do with what I have done in this draft, which I kind of punted tight end, not on purpose, but it ended up happening. It is what it is. Kind of the way the board fell to me. I would have been reaching on tight ends. I didn't really want to reach on tight ends. It is what it is. But I got Deshaun. I got Albert O. I'm okay. I'm picking again in 3 picks. So let's see what we got here. I like Isaiah Spiller, but I already have, how many running backs do I have? 4 running backs. I feel like that's okay. For now, I could probably pick another running back later. Tim Patrick, I don't want to grab another Bronco. DJ Shark, Van Jefferson, he has a couple big games, whatever. David Bell, another guy compared with Deshaun Watson. Listen, when you look at all these guys, like, do I really want to reach on any of these guys? Or should I just go Isaiah Spiller? Because listen, what happens if I took Spiller, guys? I took Spiller. It is what it is, If Austin Eckler gets hurt, Spiller's going to be the guy. He's not going to be competing with Josh Kelly. I don't think he's going to be competing with whoever else is on that roster. Like, I can't remember right now. It's going to be him. So yeah. So here's how we're looking right now. Russell Wilson and Deshaun, obviously, great quarterback duo right there. I don't have to worry about quarterback for the rest of the draft. Running backs: Alvin Kamara, James Conner, David Montgomery, Damian Harris, Isaiah Spiller. I think that's a very solid running back room. I think I'm gonna just chill there. No more running backs the rest of the draft. All right. Wide receiver: Cooper Kupp, Courtland Sutton, Darnell Mooney, Adam Thielen, Alan Lazard, and Albert O. Okay, I think we're doing okay. Tight end, obviously a hole here. Somebody asked a question. Join late, why Mooney? Whoops. I think, well, first of all, I thought he was the best player on the board at that point. But he's the number 1 right now for Justin Fields. The dude had 140 targets last year, went over 1,000 yards in his second year. So I'm looking right in the camera. I think he could hit 150 this year. I think it could happen. So, they didn't do anything to hook Justin Fields up this year. They drafted a 25-year-old. By the way, I think Velus Jones' birthday is coming up. Okay, I think they're celebrating in the nursing home. 25 years old. Come on. You know what I'm saying? 25, you're going to draft him? When did they draft him? Day 2? 3rd round? I mean, like, it's ridiculous. 4th round? No, I think it was 4th round, right? I mean, come on. That's not helping Justin Fields right there. But yeah, anyway, Darnell Mooney is going to be that dude. You know, he's going to be that dude this year once again. All right, I'm 7 picks away. I'm curious what these other teams look like here. Patrick Mahomes, Dalvin Cook, Zeke, Jacobs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, DK, Tyler, Chase, Whack. Next, Russell. Oh, that's me. Let's go with this guy. Full. Josh Allen, Stafford, very solid. Eckler. Oh, come on. Eckler, Aaron Jones, Elijah Mitchell. Come on, man. James Cook, Dal Henderson, DJ Moore, Gabriel Davis, Rashad Bateman. Elijah Moore, solid. Sherlock, let's see what Sherlock got. Trey Lance, Najee. Dude. Marlon Mack, come on. Debo Samuel, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Smith. Yeah, back. Pat Bain. Oh, I'm on the clock, baby. All right. Raheem Mostert, Gus Edwards, Jarvis Landry. I kind of like Jarvis, wherever he lands. I don't give a shit, honestly. Oh, I need a tight end, don't I? Oh, geez, Louise. Is it too early to take Gerald Everett? I'm gonna take Logan Thomas, and then I'm gonna take Gerald Everett after that because I cannot mess up the tight end position. Like, there's nothing else at this point, right? You got to go. I got to take 3 tight ends, which is like the most. It's like the most terrible way to go. Like, do not take 3 tight ends in this format. Do not do it. I'm gonna do it, but don't do it. Okay, I'm taking Gerald Everett here. All right, so now I have 3 tight ends for no reason because I'm an asshole. I couldn't figure this out. All right, so listen, between Albert O, Logan Thomas, and Gerald Everett, I'm hoping that some of these guys can have some big weeks, and I'll be all right. That's what I'm hoping for. But shit, man, only 5 wide receivers at this point of the draft. Like, that's not what you want. Okay, so I'm literally going to keep this on wide receiver here, and I'm just going to start reaching for guys. That's what I'm going to have to do. And look at this. Look at this list. Hot trash. But let's see who ends up coming back to me. And now you can see why. Like, it's probably best to wait on quarterback, right? Let's see which quarterbacks are available. See, there are quarterbacks available, starting quarterbacks available. Jameis, Matt. Jameis has some upside. He threw a couple 5 touchdown games last year. It could happen, and that was without Michael Thomas. That was without Chris Olave, right? So it could definitely happen. Solid quarterback to take late. Jared Goff, you never know. He has all the weapons, so it could happen. He can have those games. Mac Jones can do his thing. There are a bunch of starting quarterbacks here. So it's not the worst, thing to wait. Like, grab one, good quarterback, and then you can grab one backup just in case. Running back situation is great, but you just can't start all these guys, right? I'm sure there'll be, there's not going to be missed points on the bench every single week, but we'll see. I think the wide receiver room definitely needs some help here. So I'm going to be going for it. Let's see which wide receivers I'm hoping to land. Jarvis Landry is going to land somewhere. He's most likely going to be productive somewhere. He's still got it. So listen, I'm picking in 9 picks. Maybe people scared away from Jarvis. I'll be getting him at a decent value because his ADP is at 161. And I'm going to be picking at like 189 or 190. So that's solid. Donovan Peoples-Jones, if Will Fuller doesn't sign in Cleveland, I think Donovan Peoples-Jones would be somebody to definitely pay attention to. Robbie Anderson, if Sam Darnold doesn't start. And my guy Matt Corral comes in. Comes in and does his thing. AJ Green not interested in that dinosaur. Kendrick Bourne had be having some big games. So he's somebody I might be interested in here, right? Kendrick Bourne, you never know when he's going to pop off, but he pops off sometimes. You're never going to know. Redraft, you're not going to be starting him, right, when he's actually like popping off, but he's going to have those games. So he's on my list. So I'm starring his ass for sure. Laviska, who knows what happens with him? Like, I can't I can't deal with him. Nico could have some upside. Wandale could have some upside. So at this point, I'm shooting for the upside guys, right? I don't think I'm going to be shooting for Justyn Ross. A couple guys here. Uh, not really. Not really. This is hot trash. But I think I'm going to go Donovan Peoples-Jones right here if CT doesn't take him. Let's see who else is on the board just to kind of take a look. Brian Robinson, solid late rounder, just in case Antonio Gibson ever gets hurt. Brian Robinson could potentially get the goal line carries with Robinson, but with Gibson there. But if Gibson gets hurt, Robinson will get the early down work and we'll get those goal line carries most likely. So the two guys that I want here is Donovan Peoples-Jones and Kendrick Bourne. I'm hoping that Kendrick Bourne makes it to me at my pick of 195. All right, so shit. Don't take him, guys. Don't take Kendrick Bourne here. See, those guys already have. This guy already has 9 wide receivers, so he's probably good. He got Jamal Williams, and I got my guy, Kendrick Bourne. All right, I think we Gucci. I like that. I feel a lot better now. I know Donovan Peoples-Jones. You're like, why do you feel better? These guys suck. No, because Kendrick Bourne be having those big games, and that's what like at this point of the draft. Obviously, you have a couple stud wide receivers, but at this point of the draft, you want to get these wide receivers who could potentially have those big games, right? So Donovan Peoples-Jones with Deshaun Watson, deep threat off the play action. I'm happy with that. Kendrick Bourne, very happy with that because he has those big games. You never know when he's going to pop off. It's going to happen. So happy about that. I think Sterling Shepard is going to be somebody that I am going to be shooting for right here if he comes back to me in 13 picks. Because listen, like he's the only guy who showed any rapport with Daniel Jones last year. So if it's going to be anybody, my wife's asking me, "Are you done?" I'm going to say almost because I am almost done. I'm not huge on Wandale. Like, look, I starred Wandale here, but I really want Shepard. I could get both those guys because who else am I going to be picking here? Right? Never mind. Shepard just got taken off the board. 11 picks away still. You guys see anybody? Thoughts on Justyn Ross? John, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you a ton. I think Mitchell can get a lot of targets this year, potentially. I'm guessing that he might start out of the slot, with Brandon Cooks and Nico on the outside. So yeah, I think so. It could happen. I'm not betting on it because Mechie wasn't like crazy productive during his career in college. He did pop. He did have 1,000-yard season this past year before he got hurt. But yeah, he's also coming off the ACL, right? So I'm not really expecting much this year in his first year back from that ACL. Give him another year, and maybe he can do something. But I'm not banking on it. You know what I mean? If Davis Mills was this like amazing quarterback too, then maybe. I believe that Davis Mills can potentially take a next step forward because he did show some good things in his rookie year. But yeah. I had another question here. Thoughts on Justyn Ross? Listen, Justyn Ross was in my rookie draft kit. All right? He was in my rookie draft kit. I was completely expecting him to go. I think I had him like pegged for like the second, third, fourth round, something like that. Day 2, right? And man, the fact that he went undrafted, I was super surprised. I did not see that coming at all. I understand the injury risks, I understand the health risks and all that, but the dude had a ton of talent. He had an amazing freshman year, had terrible quarterback problems. Obviously, that scary, issue with the neck and the spinal surgery and all that kind of stuff, but the fact that he landed on the Chiefs, hey, listen, things can happen. You never know. We'll see. We'll see what happens during rookie training camp and regular training camp. See if he can make a difference. You never know. He has the talent. He really does. So yeah, I had Wandale. I guess Justyn. I guess you're asking because he's on the board here. I mean, I guess I could take a shot. But I think I'd rather go Wandale if he's available here. They drafted him in the second, early, right? So I think I might go Wandale here. I think they might use him off the bat. Um, but I don't see anybody that's worth reaching on. Just looking at who else is on the board here. Yeah, I think overall he's a solid pick here. So I'm gonna go Wandale here. So roster construction wise, it's looking okay. 5 solid running backs. Well, 4 solid, 1 handcuff, which is fine. And then we have what? And then we're done. Okay. So let's take a quick look at this real quick. So this is completed on this account. So here we go. So Russ, Deshaun, Alvin Kamara, James Conner, David Montgomery, Damian Harris, Isaiah Spiller, Cooper Kupp, Cortland Sutton, Mooney, Thielen, Lazard, Peoples Jones, Kendrick Bourne, Wandale. I think that's solid. Even though I was panicking a little bit on wide receivers at the end, I think we did okay. And then tight end, obviously, hopefully these guys can come through. At least we got 3 starting tight ends, right? At least we managed to do that. So I'm happy about that. All right. That's the team right there. Let me scroll up here so it looks a little bit better. But yeah, if you guys had any other questions, throw them in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to end this real quick. So Wandale, Khalil, or Calvin Austin. Listen, my favorite wide receiver out of this group was Khalil, right? Khalil Shakir. But, he went on day 3. Calvin Austin went on day 3. Wandale went on day 2. So from that perspective, you have to prefer Wandale from a dynasty perspective, okay? It has less to do with my opinion of the player and more to do with what how the NFL valued them and their draft capital. That matters more. Okay. It really does. Like I would have a huge ego, to think that my opinion matters more. I think, the numbers have shown that the correlations between draft capital and fantasy production is the biggest correlation. Okay. Out of anything else when you're projecting rookie to the NFL. Prospect to the NFL. All right. So between Khalil and Austin, I would go Khalil because I think his landing spot is amazing. I think he could fight for the starting slot position potentially over Jameson Crowder, over Isaiah McKenzie. We'll see what happens. I'm rooting for him. That's the guy I'm rooting for. So, I'm hoping that he can do his thing. Calvin Austin's a great receiver. I was at the Senior Bowl with both Khalil and Calvin Austin. And nobody could guard Calvin Austin. Even he's a small dude. Like even they were trying to get press coverage on him, they couldn't really do anything. They couldn't do much. So he is a small receiver. He might be limited in that respect, but I think and he was a late day 3 pick. And the Steelers, do have a little bit of a crowded wide receiver core at this point. They picked George Pickens as well. They got Claypool. They got Deontay. Deontay is on the last year of his contract this year. We'll see what happens there. But I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up contributing. He plays bigger than he is, But yeah, that's kind of how I feel. All right, we got another question here. Eric, London or Walker at the 102. Rebuilding my team, I got the 102, 104, 106. Dude, honestly, I'm going London here. At the 104, I'm taking another wide receiver. If it's Olave, if it's Garrett Wilson, I'm taking him. And 106, if Walker's still there at the 106, if everyone just ends up grabbing wide receivers, get Walker there. But otherwise, I'm taking these wide receivers. They have longer longevity. They have a higher longevity. These wide receiver prospects I feel like are better than Walker. I love Walker as a running back, but he has no receiving profile, and that bothers me a little bit in terms of what his upside could potentially be. I do think he has the ability to be special in the run game, but that doesn't really matter as much in terms of upside when we're talking fantasy. You know what I'm saying? So that's my only concern with Walker, even though I'm a big fan of his run game, and watching him run is like he's been one of my favorite prospects to watch this offseason, just watching, because he's legit, man. He really is. But for fantasy, I'm going with these wide receivers. Yeah, man. Got you. IDP Army, thumbs up and sub. Let's go, IDP Army. Go follow IDP Army too, man. Please. Yeah, that's right. Another question here. Thoughts on Claypool and McCole? Both are kind of at risk. Both are kind of at risk from the rookies. What do you mean by that, Pekka? Just if you could clarify in the comments, that'd be good. But I'm not really looking at either of these guys. Are you talking from a dynasty perspective? I think Claypool is not dead in dynasty. Um, he did have that. See his rookie year, 2 yards per route run. He hit that threshold, and that threshold, is looking. It's one of those things where you're like, well, look at all the wide receivers who have like top 24, even top 12 seasons. After hitting that threshold their rookie year, and he did. Now, he has some issues: press coverage, one-on-one coverage on the outside. Quarterback situation isn't necessarily helping right now, so I'm not bullish on Claypool. I was buying him before last season, but we'll see what the Steelers do and if Pickett's legit. McCole, I'm not really. I don't really like. Oh, Pekka's asking from a dynasty perspective. Yeah. So Claypool, still a legit dynasty asset. I think I would say like he's probably like a top 28, top 30 wide receiver in dynasty, something like that. Nothing too crazy. McCole Hardman, I'm not interested in McCole. If I have him, I would potentially sell. If anybody thinks that McCole could do his thing, like as like a Tyreek light replacement or anything close to it, I don't believe in that at all. I don't think he could do his thing. He was fighting with Byron Pringle for snaps and routes last year, so he couldn't make himself a full time player on an offense that didn't have any wide receivers, outside of Tyreek Hill. So yeah, I'm not in on McCole at all. Yeah, but yeah, that's it. I think we're gonna end it here, guys. No more comments, no more questions. Really, really appreciate everybody joining this draft. I think I did a solid job. I think I did a solid job. You know what I mean? Not the best roster, but I think it's okay. But I hope I was able to kind of give you guys a little bit of insight in terms of how this is happening. I'm looking at this $10 million right here. That's what I'm looking at. All right, guys, take it easy. Have a good night. I'll see you guys later.